Welcome to Numb Bills Fan Podcast. I'm your host, David Palermo. This is podcast number 154, Thursday night, right after the Bills face the Jets in the new MetLife Stadium. And, they just got their asses handed to them across the field. So I am here with Mike Smitty Smith on behalf of Grandstand Sports Network and also PunchDrunkSports.com. If you don't know already, please hit me up. Check all those sites out. Great podcast networks. Cannot wait to be a part of Punch Drunk Sports Podcast Network when it finally drops. And shout out to Grandstand Sports Network getting me on the sideline during training camp. Shout out to Eric Turner, Kevin Masseri over at Cover One. So check everybody out. On the line right now, I have my good friend, Mike Smitty Smith, who has become like pretty much my favorite person to regularly talk to, who I've always talked to about Bills, and he puts me in my place. So, Michael, we reviewed the game together. And what are your thoughts? We were railing while we were both taking simultaneous leaks.
Well, I don't even know where to start. They dropped the ball literally and figuratively so many ways in this game, from not blocking, committing penalties, turnovers. They just had nothing. They were getting pushed around on both sides of the line. People dropping balls, missing assignments. I mean, there's not a lot of things you can look at and say, wow, they did that really good. Because for every good thing they did, it turned into a quick negative. You'd get a first down, you'd get a tackle for a loss, a sack, the turnover. And the two fumbles were the worst because they both had the first down. All they had to do was go to the ground. One was on the ground, and O'Leary gets back up, and he's looking around. He has no idea what's going on. He kind of covers up, loses the ball. The one before, though, by Matthews was far worse. We were still in the game. So you just can't do that when on the road. It's the NFL, and every team is good.
Yep, and you want to know something, like I felt that this team, the Bills could just not get traction consistently, and like you said, they take like 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. I mean, the fumble is a huge step back, and it just seemed like the Bills. I mean, let's face it. I'm on Twitter during this whole team, watching the game from my phone, listening to John Murphy actually ahead of it, and then watching the play, which was really interesting. Then towards the second half, I transitioned to Tony Romo because I wanted to hear the hype with Romo. Man, on a side note, Romo is what we need going forward.
Yeah, Tony Romo
crushed it.
Hands down the best
ever.
When I'm listening, I watched the entire game. Not because I thought the Bills were going to come back late in the game. It's because Tony Romo is hilarious in the booth. Best line of the night. I don't know why you're throwing a 4-yard pass in triple coverage right now, but it was great the entire night. He kept me there when I could have gone home to bed much earlier. And you
want to know something that was so funny? He seemed like he was trying to rush out the damn door, and it's like then
he's like, at this point the refs should just no longer throw flags. He's like, just let him play. And then the other guy in the booth there, it's just like, so they're offsides, they're pushing, they're holding, just let it go. And Tony Romo's like, we got time to explore new things tonight or something like that. He was great. I have
a feeling this podcast, to everybody out there who cries about format, go fuck yourself, because this is going to be like a Tarantino movie where it's going to go everywhere. And if you want ESPN, how many dense podcasts you want to listen to? You want to read the phone book? I'll find you 12 other podcasts you can listen to. So
hey, for the record, ESPN, Dave doesn't speak for me. If you got a contract, I'm coming. If he wants to come too, he's just talking reckless right now.
Sign the guy giving away play, going through the garbage can at St. John Fisher when he allegedly worked there and Marone was there and would go through the garbage can and threaten to sell to the Patriots. He's like, oh, how much do you think I could get?
It's not like I.
Let's talk about being a piece of shit here. Come on, sellout. We know you're gonna rewrite a sellout for AIDS.
Hey, look, when money's there and it's a good opportunity, you got to think of, your family and your future. So, in any case, it's not like I took any of those pieces of papers and tried to do anything with them. I still have them. They're in a box. Memorabilia. Or I threw them away. I don't remember, but could be.
I don't know. Anything I stole, I usually sold it. I'm just throwing it out there. So, I mean, if you're doing that, back in the day, I never steal.
Maybe I can give you a piece of memorabilia. I'll frame one of those for you, Dave.
Look, so here's where I was going to go is, all right, just right out the gate, I want to address, there's been a lot of people shitting, because it's what Bills fans do, on Mike Tolbert. And this is the first game I'm like, why the fuck are you giving Mike Tolbert the ball right now when that whole left side of the line, Cordy Glenn, I should say, is just not having a good game? Okay? He had his worst game of his career, and I look at it like LaShawn can make people miss, and we got 10 minutes left, and you're giving it to Tolbert. I mean, come on, guys. And even earlier in the game, he didn't get the ball. He got the ball more than McCoy, too, a little bit. Like,
my concern for the coaching staff is their willingness to go to him too much. You were still in a game. Although you were behind, you still had the potential to come back. When you were down 17, there's over 10 minutes in the game. You have the ability to come back. Had they not turned the ball over, who knows? But you're in a 2-minute hurry-up type offense, and you have Tolbert in the game.
I don't understand it. And then the thing is you're going to go into pass pro. Okay, cool. Well, as Tony Romo kept hammering, you're not throwing the ball outside the numbers into single coverage, and then Tyrod Taylor answers the bell to it. But it's like, we were bullshitting last podcast. Like, dude, you got to dress Calvin Benjamin. And you know what? Maybe not, okay, because he would play 17 full games. That said, dude, can you just fucking stand there and take a safety with you? Just give it that nanosecond. Like, Jesus Christ.
You traded those picks, and I don't even care. Like, he's a wide receiver. He's a professional athlete. He played at Florida State. He is a pro's pro. He can come in short notice. He could have played. You don't need to know the whole playbook to play wide receiver. He's not the quarterback. That's why Jimmy Garoppolo is not starting, because you need to know a lot more as a quarterback. The quarterback knows everything. Tyrod Taylor could have said, on this play, you are to do one of these two things. Okay? That's how simple it can be. It could be even simple as, on this play, you're just going to go down there. I'm going to throw it up. You jump up and try to catch it. Simple as that. You don't need to go through a week's practice to run a 9 down the field, jump up in one-on-one coverage, because they had 8 people in the box all night long. Right. You're not going to move the ball when there are 8 people in the box on the ground. At that point, Tony Romo, they should have just listened to the broadcast. Tony Romo was telling them what to do. They weren't listening. So,
you want to know, when you're listening to Tony Romo, I'm like, hey, paging Tony Romo, can you sit down with Tyrod Taylor and talk to him about things like QB sneaks, and how you let everybody fuck each other up in the middle and you sneak off to the side, which clearly they were listening to the broadcast, because Tyrod Taylor did that on the opposite side for that touchdown. And then the whole time, by the way, Tony Romo is like, oh, just give it to him. Just, the Jets deserve this game. You got to give it to him. What? Give him nothing. Get the hell out of here. Like, you're telling me of all offenses that tear apart the fucking Bills, you got this running back I have never heard of making plays. You got Forte, who I told you not to sleep on. Of course, he's not on my bench. And, Matt Forte never disappoints. And he looks a lot better than he did game 1. And I think game 1 he might have been a little injured still. So...
the Bills weren't tackling either, so
no,
really
awful tackling.
I mean, I haven't seen the box scores. I'm guessing at least 15 plus broken tackles if they score them right. Like, there was multiple runs where they were breaking 2-3 tackles at the point of contact, and if you're not taking them down, at the point of contact, you're giving up a lot of yards, and that's what the Bills did. They could not do anything. Now, on the positive side, if you happen to play Tyrod Taylor in fantasy football, he lit up the field because he threw for over 300 yards and had 3 combined scores, 2 passing, 1 rushing. So he definitely filled up your stat sheet. So, kudos for him on that. Too bad he didn't have any support. He honestly, in what's lost in this game,
7 sacks today.
Yeah,
seven sacks today. You know what it was like, Mike? I was around to the van while I was on the phone with you for a little quote unquote pre-production, pre-bullshitting we call it, and I'm like, dude, that line just kept collapsing on him in the pocket. It's almost like they know he's forced to stay in the pocket, and it just so worked out where actually we know he wants to stay in here. That's almost like they worked the opposite against him.
As bad as the overall game looked, the problem was Tyrod Taylor, even though he was getting murdered, he actually was moving the ball. Mm-hmm. It's just they would not block. They would get sacked. Some of it was play calling. Some of it was just poor effort. The line was just getting pushed around. And then the penalties. I mean, there was countless occasions. You can go back and recap the game play by play. There was countless occasions where they're moving the ball. And like I said, immediately something bad happens. And as much as you want to throw that on a quarterback, he still put up good overall numbers for the game. He was doing his part, but he can't hold on to the ball and continue going downfield.
I will say, what was that?
You got to block your quarterback. I mean, if you're not blocking for your quarterback, you can't win. I mean, Tom Brady is experiencing himself. He started 2-4 2 years ago, won the Super Bowl because they weren't blocking.
Dude, you know what the line looked like to me? At least I was noticing in the first half on the right side. It looked like somebody fired the gun off for a 40 time, or the quarterback said hike, and it was just like a race for the offensive lineman to backpedal. It was like Ducasse and Mills were just, they're backpedaling right into Tyrod, like right out the gate, right out the drop. And it's like, one thing I don't understand, I mean, I got to give Tyrod credit, man. He stood there and he made some throws that, like, when we watch other quarterbacks like Drew Brees, where you got that zip and he's throwing it over the line, he's reaching up, getting tall a little bit. I mean, those are throws we've been waiting to see out of Tyrod. And I got to say, man, the last couple weeks with Tyrod Taylor have been awesome. He is doing everything I want to see. Now, are there things he can improve on? Sure. Like, I would like to see him take some more shots in those situations.
He needs to work the intermediate area of the field,
mm-hmm.
and sometimes you have to adjust. I mean, that's where he's still not making that step.
Zay Jones, he hit Zay Jones after he was open for like way too long in the middle of the field, but he did have a couple anticipation throws, the touchdown specifically in the middle of the field, so
it's one of those things where we don't know, watching the game, and you don't know if you're a fan, you don't know what the play calls were, because I felt like they should have continued to go to the outside more, because they were getting completions and things in the outside and intermediate plays. They just weren't doing enough. They kept on going back to the run, and they kept on going to these very short underneath routes when they should have just stayed outside the numbers. So, I mean, the way they were stacking the box and the way they were playing coverage on the outside, it made sense to continue that. So
I'm kind of bummed out that the Bills get all this hype behind them, and I hate when the national media catches on. I love being like the sleeper team, not totally sleeper. I like the national media to at least respect the Bills, but here they go and they lose to a dog shit fucking team, and it's one of those things where here I go bitching about refs, where it's like, it's not the refs in this game. The Bills definitely beat themselves, but it's like the games where you've been with the Patriots where they get calls and they kind of squeeze by and they get time to get their shit together, Well, the Bills still have a lot of time to get their shit together. They're 5-3.
do.
I'm not worried about it. And you know what? This is the first Buffalo Bills game that we have seen under this coaching staff. How many times in a new coaching staff do you see this as their first game, their second game, their third game? We're like, we're striving to find improvement. This is the first egg of dog shit they've truly laid.
Well, the big thing is how are they going to respond next week? I mean, this game's over. You played bad, but the game's over. You got to forget about it. And as good old Belichick says, we're on to the Bengals. We're on to Cincinnati. So you got to move on. They just have to forget this game. They're going to watch the film. I don't even know if they need to watch the film. I think they can pretty much tell each other what happened, but they're going to look at the film. They're going to realize and see exactly what they already know, and you just got to move on. And what the difference between a good team and bad team, even good teams have games like that, and you lose. It happens. But how do you respond the following week? So, I mean, look at the Patriots. When last year they lost to the Chiefs, just got crushed. Everyone thought they were done. Well, they responded. So can the Bills respond? That's what we need to see now. Because we have seen a lot of good things from the Bills this year. They've played great defense other than today. They've been tackling. They've been playing well as a team. They've been causing turnovers. They've been getting the quarterbacks on offense. Tyrod Taylor's made plays that they've needed to. The team as a whole has started to move the ball, even though they had all the penalties and it didn't show up today. They still put points up, even though it was late. But can they respond next week, or is this what they are going forward? That's what they're going to answer next week and the week after. So
I think the Bills have 10 days to prepare for the Saints. I got to say, again, I still think that there are some things I'd like to see is if Corey Glenn is getting blown up, can you give him some help? I mean, can we go back to what you did with Khalil Mack? I mean, Khalil Mack, we did not hear his name, and you had guys really chipping away at the guys that were making a difference on the pass rush. You know what I'm saying?
I do, and I'm just going to be interested.
Like, you can't throw like a tight end out there with him. You know what I mean? On Corey Glenn's side, and just Corey Glenn had an abomination. It almost seems like, Mike, it seems like the defense generally knows how to make adjustments really fast. And the offense, it's almost like by the time they make adjustments, the defense is clearly softened up for the Jets, so take that into my point. But it's like by the time they make adjustments, it's almost like you and I play a lot of Madden, so Madden reference. It's almost like they made the adjustment at halftime. They should have made it in halftime in 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Do you follow me? Like,
yeah, a little bit.
Take some shots and try to open up that run game. That's what we were talking about with Calvin Benjamin, right?
Well, that's what I was going towards is how are they going to play next week with Calvin Benjamin, who will definitely suit up next week. Will it make a difference? Because it's like I said, and I watched the game, and it was torture to see so many people, because I used to play running back, and I know when it's a good time to run. Like, every now and then you'd be in the running backfield, and you're looking up at the front, and you're like, the play call and the way my blockers are going to block and what I'm looking at, it is not going to look good in about 2 seconds. You can see it sometimes. And I know that's what LaShawn McCoy was looking at all night long with all those people in the box. He's got some skill, and you can overcome some of that, but normally numbers are going to win out. When they got more people in to take you down than you have to keep you up, it's not a very good situation. You want an even, and even better than even, more numbers on your side. So, do you think
they were trying to preserve LaShawn McCoy coming off of 27 carries against the Raiders?
I don't know, and I wouldn't be in that mindset. Like, the one thing that I didn't like is when Zay Jones went out there and clearly got hurt. He shouldn't have gone back out in the game. Like, I know the training staff looked at him and, they're professionals. They know. But that was bad, and he's young. It wasn't just that they put him back in the game, but you could see when he caught that first pass after he came back in the game, he was not walking normal. And you can't be out there in the NFL with the best players in the world and not be 100%. Because when you're not 100%, the likelihood of you getting injured at that moment goes way up.
Dude, they dressed 4 receivers today. 4. And Joe Webb stepped in at receiver. Got that pass interference call. And by the way, how about the refs' 2 calls getting... They don't even know what side of the ball they're calling these penalties on.
How great was it the Bills got 2 back-to-back onside kicks?
Yeah, right.
I don't think I've ever seen that in the history of football, where they got the onside kick and then there was a penalty. They had to re-kick and then they got it again. It just doesn't happen.
Hey,
but
hey, you know what my favorite was? Before the season, Mike, was when Dan Carpenter was like really good at onside kicks in his career. Like, he had like a crazy percentage, and it's almost like we know more than the coaching staff, and they still had that other idiot kickoff specialist. I don't mean he's not an idiot, but I'm just saying, like, I thought having a kickoff specialist is kind of stupid. But like, they had him doing the onside kicks. So it's like, dude, why don't you? How do I know more about these numbers than you? This is your damn job. So I love seeing the Bills.
If you're referring to Rex's decision, I would imagine he would let his coaches. He was more of a let your coaches coach.
I don't want to name the coach because he's still with the team, and I don't want to shoot him under the bus, but I don't know what Danny Crossman was seeing, because I just look at numbers, and when the little number, the producers of CBS should not know more about your kicker than you do. Okay? That should never happen. That said, the Bills got a bullshit offsides penalty on that kick. And it's like, what are you looking at? And then they get a 15-yard onside kick after the 5-yard penalty, which is unheard of. And then what are the refs looking at where Eric Wood lines up the ball on the goal line? And I'm like, these guys control how much money? They control how many people's careers?
Oh, well,
wins and losses.
These guys aren't getting paid that much. So,
dude, wins and losses is what I'm talking about. Okay, it all comes down to wins and losses, and you can't even fucking. You're gonna call an offsides call, but your dumbass can't even tell. All you fucking morons can't even tell that ball is lined up as a touchdown.
We have the refs there. You could easily just have laser lines down the line of scrimmage for both sides, and then you would know if someone was offsides, lined up in the neutral zone, the ball was not where it was supposed to be.
Mike, we both may or may not know people who gamble or ourselves. And you're telling me something ain't a little fishy with sports. I mean, come on, man. We got that ref from the NBA, Tom Donahue. He came out.
Well, I'm just
saying, dude. Like, dude, some shit is just weird. It's almost like, because they're a union, you can't get accurate people in there. I've railed on this podcast. I know you don't listen to it. I don't blame you, Mike. But I railed like I don't know.
Well, Dave, you're starting to go down conspiracy alley.
I've been on this conspiracy alley with these refs fucking since birth. Okay, once I saw a home run throwback, I'm like, fuck this. I'm dipping out of this.
That was just poor play. Like, you can blame the refs and you can be like, oh my God, what are they looking at? But that's a perspective thing. The end of the day is the play.
At the end of the day, the Patriots have like 3 wins due to bad refs this year already. Come on, Mike. What fucking planet are you on? What fucking planet are you on?
Hey, the Bills did not lose today because of poor officiating, okay?
No, they didn't lose. They didn't lose today, Mike. I'm just saying in general, there's something's up, okay? I got like my pinky up right now, like, Dr. Evil and Austin Powers. And I'm just like really thinking like, man, I don't trust these motherfuckers as far as I can throw them, because there is no way that those stripes should be rounding and they can make accurate calls, and there is no way that these guys could be out of shape and probably have cataracts at this time. So,
see, Dave, the other thing I think you also fail to realize, it's a lot harder to officiate a game on the field than it is to officiate a game from your couch, where you have a screen and they have all these wonderful camera angles for you where you can easily see anything. Like, it makes it a whole lot easier. Now, I don't know why they continue the element of let's just leave people on the field. They could just have people in a booth, have a whole bunch of cameras, and but
I just Mike, my whole point is, bud, is that like they have been technologically capable of making this call right since instant replay was invented. And that's all I'm saying is
replay everything soon.
You don't need to, Mike. But the thing is why are we smarter than everybody else? As far as why are there millions of people watching going, what the fuck is that? And here I come on, and I try to, defend the team a little bit, because I try to. This whole podcast is about like trying to be a little bit more objective, a little on the Homer side, but more like encouragement to the players and the organization.
I mean, between Homer, conspiracy, and overall genius that you state you are.
I never. I actually thought I called the genius right now.
We can replay the tape where you just said, "How can we be smarter?" So, I mean, you're
smarter. Yeah, smarter than the refs on the field. Like, okay, I'm trying to tell you, Mike. I don't think they care to fix the problem, dude. Every year, they go through this shit with the refs, and I'm just saying, it's just really, dude.
It's part of the drama of the NFL. You got to have a little drama. Everybody loves drama.
I don't like it, Mike. Okay. I don't like it,
drama.
Mike.
You just try to choose where you like to see your drama. You like to be selective. Everyone wants to be selective about their drama, but little drama.
Mike, so
TNT, we do drama.
Let's bring this podcast home, okay? Because you do drama. So, like, I'm sorry I hexed it. I got a tweet from, I think his name is Jeremy Nickerson. Shout out to him. Dude, he said something like to me once I said that I didn't have a good feeling about this game. Like, I swear I could wake up game day and know, like, okay, my spidey sense says that like they're gonna lose this one.
You have that sixth sense. That's
dude, man. And then I was like looking. And by the way, I'm looking at my phone watching this game. I was talking earlier, and I'm like screaming like a 10-year-old, like, yeah, let's get it. And then Nickel literally fumbles, and it's like, fuck. Dude, the Bills were just, to wrap this up and bring it home, like, the Bills were just off. We haven't seen a game like this from the Bills. I'm not going to crush them. If you guys are going to crush your team already, again, go fuck yourself. Don't be too negative, okay? Don't be too negative. Give them a chance. I thought the Bills were too much inside their heads today, and they really just couldn't settle down. Even Eric Wood couldn't settle down today, it looked like, so come back at it against the Saints. They're coming off a short week. Yes, the Jets did too. But the Jets have been in some, they almost beat the Falcons, and the Bills have caught some breaks this year. And guess what? I mean, the Bills still look good for the wild card. They still look very good for the wild card. The Patriots are not the same Patriots. That said, like I said, the record just dictates. Somehow they have 6 wins. They have been garbage compared to usual Patriots. So, again, we'll look at it like, when the Patriots get 11 wins, if they do this year, 12 wins, 10 wins, we'll forget about the bullshit wins they got. So
the Patriots are definitely going to get at least 12 wins.
You think so?
They're 6-2, so they would have to go 4-4 to get 12. So if you think they're going to be 500 the rest of the way, that would be impressive, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going they're going to win more than 4 out of their next 8 games.
Well, let me try to hex the Patriots, okay? I was thinking about this today. I was driving around by myself today.
I don't think you can hex Tom Brady, but give it a try. He
I'm
broke
going-
glass. He broke glass. He's on the cover of Madden. He walked under a ladder. I don't know if you can hex the guy. So
here's what I'm hoping. I want to see. I want to see if the Patriots actually do lose somehow. Like if they do lose, how does the Patriots, like if they were to lose, if they did go 500, 4-4, like how do they really? Say they lost 5, which is unheard of, but just really, if they went like 9-7, like how would that team handle that shit? You know what I mean? I don't know. I would like.
They would ask themselves, did they make it to the playoffs? And if so, at that point, it didn't matter.
Yeah, right, because you erased the whole previous. You know, because it really is the next game is what matters. I hope the Bills are looking onto the Saints right now and going over. They're players. They know where they can sharpen up.
Well, we'll see, Dave.
Well, Michael, thank you as always. And what is your handle? MC Smith 2406 everywhere.
I don't know. I got blocked out of that, so
why?
I couldn't get back in. Well, figure it out. I don't know. It wasn't sending me my reset. I haven't been on there in I don't know ages. So.
Did you tell your friends you were on a podcast for the last one, number 150 for number 152? Did you tell them about 152? Or 153?
152 or 3 or 4 or 46 I actually didn't tell them about any of them, Dave.
Mike, so as always, you don't disappoint me.
Ball.
Okay.
Hey, I could have been a Buffalo Bill today, and I could have just dropped the pill.
Let me know if you ever want to hang out and break into St. John Fisher and just steal some memorabilia for each other, you know? So, keep me posted, bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest any listener do that. Bad idea.
Okay, well, if you want to hang, let me know. But, okay. Michael, you have a good night.
You too, bud.
I'll see you, bud.
Have a good night, everybody. Go Buffalo.
Go Bills. That's the podcast. Look, don't hate your life. It's just football, okay? Tyrod Taylor, you got to look at the positives here. Moving forward, we're building a team, right? We're in this for the long haul. Continuity. Got to find the right guys to build continuity, though, even though the last thing we do is continue. But look, the Bills are trying to continue with the coach, a quarterback, and a coaching staff. Tyrod Taylor, I thought he did what he needed to do today. As far as his heart. As far as trying to drive that ball down the field at the end of the game. Still, where there's some passes where, again, on the TV, I can't see what the coverage is dictating. I can't. You can't see the. I hate the TV view. It absolutely bothers me. And as I rail about refs, it's really more about like just get it right. You have technology, and same with the camera angles. Like give me multiple angles. How about this? I would give you probably $10 a game for away games to just have multiple camera angles. Like really, is it that hard? Let me watch what the hell I want to watch. And then you could have your little picture-in-picture replay if you want to. I mean, these networks got to get their shit together. Figure it out. Get on the apps, whatever. And watching it on the NFL Verizon app, yes, I appreciate you, Verizon, for that. That's great that I can stream the games. The fact that I can't stream it out to my TV is absolutely stupid. I don't have NFL Network. I will never buy NFL Network. I used to have NFL Sunday Ticket. Again, the common theme of this thing is telling people who can go fuck themselves. NFL Sunday Ticket can go fuck themselves. Because I ain't got time. So once I got season tickets, I'm like missing all the games. And honestly, I get to a point where like I don't care. I just don't care. I want to follow the Bills. Follow what's going on a little bit. Listen, I'm a big audio guy. Love audio. Love multitasking. And just take in what's going around the league. And so, anyways, whatever I'm babbling about, this podcast is over. I'm your host, David Palermo. Find, Numb Bills Fan everywhere. Subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Overcast Radio, Google Play, anywhere you find your podcast. Or, if you found us on numbbillsfan.com, thank you. If you found us on grandstandsportsnetwork.com, Thank you. Which, if you don't know, check them out. They have a bunch of podcasts that play like it's an internet radio station, so it's continuous play. But all sorts of podcasts on there. You got to check out Locked On Bills. If you want, hands down, I think the best Bills podcast I'll get to, you got to listen to the John Murphy Show. If you don't listen to the John Murphy Show, you're out of your mind. Okay? If you want to bother with the other shows on WGR 550, you want to get a fan perspective, another perspective as well, check those out. But I will say I always listen to John Murphy, and I try my best to get at least a couple, 2 out of 3 Locked On Bills. There's 3 Locked On Bills podcasts a week, but you got to get them in there. Aaron Quinn, Eric Turner, Nate Geary, Kevin Masseri, these guys are killing it. I can't get enough, honestly. But sometimes I get lost with work lately or whatever the hell I'm doing where I can't multitask as much. So I had to always go John Murphy first, and then after that, I listen to Locked On. So if anybody comes to me for real information, I mean, I applaud you. I love having a Bills-based conversation here on Numb Bills Fan Podcast. So thank you to everybody for sticking around, interacting with me up on Twitter and all the other platforms. And if you're not on Instagram, you should check it out. I'm pretty big with Instagram. I love Instagram. It's like a way to be creative. So as always, shout out to the Bills Mafia Facebook group. I guess to you people out there posting in there, you got to be behaved. They have post moderation, or I have to get my posts approved to even post in that group. So I guess the whole flag thing brought out all the worst in people, because that's what the internet does. But everybody chill out. We're all here for one reason, and it's the Buffalo Bills. And one thing I love about sports is it really tests it's a litmus test to me. Where are the social aspects of life? Because I don't know, you have all sorts of cultures and people interacting for one thing, and that's the same with the fan base. So all the love to everybody out there. There's a lot of good Bills content out there. It seems like all the time there's some kind of new Bills something report or something out there. I mean, I would just follow cover1.net, and that's just me. Locked On Bills, the Buffalo Bills PR department. They're a great follow. You want good information? The Bills PR department on Twitter. I try to retweet most of their stuff because it's so good. It's so good. I like a little comment here and there. But keep your head up, Bills fans. It's not that bad. Bills had their first debacle. Okay, reality check. They got 10 days to cry it away and figure it out for the Saints. I'm not too worried about it. The one thing I am worried about, though, is the offense. Again, we've gone over this offense thing. I don't know. 7 points going into the fourth quarter ain't always going to work. So, another news, the Sabres just got the alert. The Sabres just beat the Coyotes 5-4 on the road. So, there you go. Everybody take care. Follow me on Twitter, and I'm Bills Fan everywhere. I'm your host, David J. Palermo. Thank you for following along, and all the friends and family out there. All the hardcore fans and family, too. Thank you for interacting and supporting the podcast, because I just sit here and talk to myself like a dope. All right, see ya.